All right, this is day 3. So today we are still thinking about increasing our child's sense of predictability around the transition back to school. So today I want you to focus on filling in the gaps. So maybe there's lots of things that might feel unknown to your child, right? Maybe they have a new teacher. Maybe it's a new classroom. Maybe they're going to a whole new school, right? And so what we want to do is we want to, as the adults, just be thinking about, can we fill in some of these blanks, right? Something that might not be so obvious for our child, or maybe they met the teacher at a transition day back in June and we haven't talked about them since, right? So we want to start bringing in the details that we do know around things that will be different this September. So for example, if you have a teacher, Mrs. Thompson, and your child met that doorbell, hold that thought, Amazon delivery. If you had a child who met their teacher back in June, then we want to be thinking about talking about that teacher. Like, what do we remember, right? Might say something like, what kind of things did you do with the teacher? What did the teacher look like? If we have a child, obviously depending on their age, we want to draw the teacher. Start thinking about what the teacher looked like. All of those things, starting to like draw I like to call this technique painting a picture, right? Perhaps we had a child who had a transition day and they're going into a new classroom. They got to sort of see that once. We want to talk about that new classroom. Maybe we want to draw it out. We want to think about the stuff like we did yesterday on day 2. What was familiar? What's different, right? And what's so important about this, and especially, and you can do this more if your child's a little bit older, but really for them to start to understand that we know that some of those gaps, the things that can be unpredictable, can be really challenging to them, right? And so we want to help, right? We want to help them to feel more at ease. And so we want to help there be less things that are unknown and to fill in some of the gaps. Now, some of these things might require you to go back, check your emails, like check actually who is my child's classroom teacher? What is the classroom that my child is going to have? What is it that the lunch situation is, right? Do we have a menu that we can show our child if your child's having school dinners, or are we going to be packing them a lunch? So then we could be talking to our child about, hey, like even if there's all of these things that we might not know about, let's think about this thing, which is lunch, which I can control. And we'll talk about what kind of things would you like in your lunchbox. Maybe we could be creating a menu with them about the stuff that's going to be in their lunchbox during the first week back at school. So do you see how we are starting to fill in some of these gaps, some of these things that might feel like unknowns to our child, that we together with them can start to paint a bit of a picture so there's less things that are unpredictable. All right, let me know how you get on with day 3.